Alright, we're live. Straight out of the gate, thank you for watching the VOD. Even if you only watched a little bit of it. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2025. We've got a lot of stuff to get done this year. So, but it's looking good. Pretty exciting. As you can see, we're now in Unity 6. So, I'll be honest, I haven't spent a lot of time in here the last few days, or more time the last few days, not so much the last couple of weeks. Definitely took a little bit of a break over the holidays. Hopefully you guys did as well. Hey, Code and Caffeine, what's going on? What's up, Spawny? Rev Chumley, John. You guys are on the ball today. Playtest? No. Though, did I edit that? Okay, my stream title still said stress test when I almost kicked it off with a bit of fake news. Coding Caffeine says, just got a new water heater, dealing with odds and ends around the house. What kind of water heater did you get? We have a really nice on-demand gas water heater from like 1975 in our place, and it's great. Hey, Nell. Swanee. No having fun for you. Navy and gas tanklet. Okay, that sounds like a new version of what we have. Rev Chumley says, had to replace my water heater last night. If I ever meet who invented shark bite water line connectors, I will kiss their feet. I need to know what this is. Shark bite water heater connectors. Push to connect. John says, PEX has made plumbing almost trivial. That's good to know. That's not information I may do anything with anytime soon, but one of these days, if and when we move back to the US, we'd like to have a little place. Every little bit of knowledge helps. Hey, Chaz Solo, Tanami-san, Sneaky Russian, Dozakar. Yeah, sorry to disappoint you, Drodak. So I don't know, maybe I'll leave this zone so you guys don't get to sneak peek at anything. Oh, I'm loving that waterfall back there. Oh man. Water park memories. Coding Caffeine says your last newsletter update was really good, by the way. Maybe we'll look at that in a minute. I appreciate it. Team did a fantastic job on it. Hey, Justin Beard, what's up, buddy? How you doing, Dark Inside? Guys, I am pretty exhausted. We'll see how long I actually stream tonight. Maybe it'll only be like a 2-hour stream. Jordan Knox, eating around, what's going on? When did that waterfall get added? I want to go look at it. So, how are the holidays for everybody? Hey, Kenji. Happy New Year. Hotbar and stuff gets moved around because I'm always resizing this window. Hey, the main start. Yeah, we got some new UI stuff going on. We got a lot of new stuff going on right now, Kenji. If you weren't around before the break, then you probably didn't see some new UI stuff going on. Give it a few minutes and I will actually bring up the update and then we can kind of run through it. You'll see some of it. Yeah. Got the new hotbar looking fresh. Yeah. Got our little unit frame decorations. Hey, Dargith. Good to hear, Morak. Good to see you. Wallabus, Bilbo. Hey, guys. What was that? Somebody... Did I read something that wasn't there? No. Swanee, there's nothing wrong with family time, though. Yeah, so Shallow Shoals is in progress. Definitely a lot different vibe than just being in a desert. There's some signs and stuff in here, so we're not going to run around too much because there's some notes that are up above things that that you know what, you don't need to see yet. So if you are a gnome or a goblin or a halfling, you're gonna spend a lot of time, you know, you're gonna spend a lot of time swimming in here, or potentially riding in a little boat, or I don't know, riding on an ogre friend or something like that. Ogres, it's not a problem. Is the zone related to the island expeditions or just a normal zone with island aesthetic? Just a normal zone with island aesthetic. This is the closest analog here would be, this is kind of our Ocean of Tears that runs along the coastline from south to north, north to south, between Keeper's Bite, which is right outside of the Elven Lands, Evershade. And so you'd ride a ship from Keeper's Bite down that shoreline through Shallow Shoals, and then down around Fallen Pass, and then go through Shaded Dunes and wind up back in Night Harbor and vice versa. But one of the, there's just something about this idea of it, you know, kind of, yeah, it's just, Dargis just said, I really like the idea of having a water zone that's more traversable than Ocean of Tears and more normal than Stake Hedge. Yeah, and so it varies, right? It's got dips and swimmy spots and water channels for ships and stuff, but I think it's a fun way to really be able to appreciate like the island feel. It's kind of got like a lot of the inspirations from like various atolls and ooh. Are we... Because I've been wondering about waves going towards the shores as opposed to just kind of random. And it feels like they're doing it in here. So Simon, I think it's mainly been Simon and Chinny D in here working on this guy, and it's coming along really quickly, and it's got so many random fun little things. There's so much random cool shit that's going to be packed in here, but there are a few these guys never do small stuff. Like they never go, it's never like dialed in at like 5 or 6. It's always kind of 11, right? So there are already a couple areas here that are just their own little, I mean, dare I say, like, we were talking about it in Discord, measuring everything in like units of crush bone. So it's a you know, we got a couple little crush bones in here. AutoKey, what's going on? I was hoping you'd pop in. I was thinking about you today. I was like, I wonder what's going on in his mind. But yeah, it looks like, so I've been wondering about our water and whether or not the waves were directional. And yeah. By the way, this is in Unity 6. The water texture needing its own slider. The water texture is a whole customizable shader setup. And so it's there's so many like bells and whistles and knobs and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, the idea was just to have like a water zone that was a bit more traversable, as you said. Really kind of took that idea of having different islands with different things that we could do with them, and cranks it up. Let me give myself a quick speed buff. MMO Pug said this looks absolutely amazing. It's already a fun zone, but definitely appreciate it. And you know, as usual, you can see the other zones in the distance. Really keeps you rooted, so you kind of know where you're at in the world. Hey, what's up, Pessimistic Squid? Yeah. Never appropriate on this stream. Can't wait to explore this zone. One of the update cover looking screenshots was so cool. Vibe jumps off the screen. Yeah, and these guys, they just started this zone, right? And there's already so much going on in it. Like I said, I'm not going to run around too far because I don't want to reveal too much. I like what they're doing with that waterfall. So there's a lot of variety here. There may be some cool opportunities for you guys once things are live in here as well. I think we talked about it before. I don't want to play like too shy as if we haven't talked about some of this stuff, but the opportunity to own property in here will be, I think, an interesting one. And by own, you know, like you never fully own property in our game. You'll rent it, get a deed, pay your rent. But the opportunity to be able to control some property in here is going to be fun. And yeah, and a lot of cool different islands and different stuff going on. And as usual, it's a big zone. Landlord class win. Yeah, I don't... Should it be a class? You guys went non-combat classes. CPA class. Man, my eye just got itchy. I'm a mess. I'm so tired. Got up at 5 this morning and I'm just now getting used to a work schedule again. Dargit said I didn't get to jump in on the last stress test, but caught some streams. VODs performance seemed better than ever from what I could see. Did the team feel good about the outcome? Yeah, the stress tests were really nice. We felt good. That's right. We haven't had a stream since then. You know, we're definitely getting there. So we want to continue to push things. I think we capped out at like 377 in Night Harbor. So, and things stayed pretty stable up like through 300, if I'm remembering correctly. What about adding XP so you can level up during trade skills and harvesting? You know, it's such a... It's a big call. It's something that, I mean, even this morning we were in a meeting. You know, Ollie, Nick and I were talking about that stuff this morning, and it was one of the things that I referenced that I thought was really cool about EQ2, to be honest. But Jordan said, I mean, some people spent all of their time porting people in EQ, right? And I mean, they're still well represented in the community to this day. Hey, Quick Sauna. But yeah, it's funny, man. Just like a little difference in location here, a little difference in like the fog color and stuff, and it already feels so much like. Isn't it nice to get out of the desert a little bit? John said, I had a character in City Heroes that used to teleport escort players through zones named Public Transit. That's amazing. Hey, Tannhauser. Dargit said, my view on it is that if you're going to get XP for trade skilling, it should be XP towards an actual trade skill class, becoming a better necromancer because, I agree. Sorry, I just interjected that. To finish your statement, becoming a better necromancer because you were brewing beer makes as little sense as getting better at brewing beer by adventuring as a necro. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Oh, speaking of which, did you guys see that we posted a new job posting, a new role? Did you see that? So much is going on. Holy shit. It feels like it's been a month since we saw each other last, and honestly, it almost has been. Did everybody see the update? Who in here did not see the update? If everybody saw the update, I'll skip that. I'll just go to job posting real quick. Hey, Wyvern. Kenji said I was at my brother's place over the holidays. Had a really great time. It's good to hear that you had a good time. All right, so here's the update. I'm going to give you the link so you can follow along. All right, so overview here. I'm not going to read it all out. Overview here. Just a quick look back of some milestones that we hit. 10,000 Discord members, 5,000 subscribers. We have over 600 VODs up now. That's crazy. Just think if I'd actually remembered to download and then upload all the VODs from like that first year when we were doing this. That would have been pretty cool. We hit 7,000 subscribers on a mailing list. For all you nerds out there, the project surpassed 10,000 GitHub commits. We ran 8 public testing sessions. And we were nominated for some awards, even won a few. We are on, at this time, at least one most anticipated MMO list. Apparently, we're on a new one. Just saw that in Discord. That's pretty cool. Thanks for anticipation. We got a video. Our wonderful video editor, Tom/Blink, made a year in review video. So you want to click on that and check it out. Wyvern said, awesome MMORPG you're developing here. Hey, thank you. We posted some stats about the stress test. So looking pretty good here. Staying pretty consistent with our playtime numbers. I think we'll probably do some stuff to make getting into the game a little bit easier in the coming months. And so I wouldn't be shocked. It'll be nice to look at some of the historical less than 30 minutes played on these accounts. And see if we can bring that number up a little bit. But even there, I mean, overall, 30 minutes, you know, to 120 plus, that's not bad. These are good KPIs right now for where we're at, guys, in free-to-play corporate soft launch speak. Hey, Migs. Hey, Ishuatare, V Gates. Alles gut? All right, let me keep going. Frank and Beans, what's going on, buddy? Can I speak to the hate threat updates, or is that for us to find out? I can't speak to it, but somebody on the team can. Ask in Discord. Nick can speak to it. Ollie can speak to it. I wouldn't be shocked if, you know, Zillith or one of the other guys could speak to it as well. It's just, guys, you got to understand, I context switch so much, and I've got so many different things going on. Like, my brain is a very old processor. It is not a modern processor. So I've got a lot of shit going on a lot of times, and I just kind of, I stay pretty superficial on a lot of things, unfortunately. But other guys on the team, it's also partially just because we've got rad people on the team that know stuff inside and out, so I can just defer to them. But that's kind of been my life now for a long time. What's up, Chex? I think I said hi to Mix. Pessimistic, what's going on? Ishwatare sagt, alles gut. Ich hoffe, du bist gut ins neues Jahr gekommen. Ja, vielen Dank. Wie sagt man auf Deutsch? Hoffentlich es war eine schöne Silvester. Ein gutes Rutsch. Yeah, make sure you attach cover sheets to all your TPS reports. I'll give you another copy of that memo. That's yeah, that's what I'm just here to remind people about their TPS reports. So we have a bunch of concept art, tons of art. This stuff is being, you know, quickly translated into armor sets and stuff. I mean, in some of these, you know, the watching them go from this into actually just existing in game. Like, I don't know, did you see my cloak on my ogre? My cape? Here. I'm just chilling right now. Backpack. Gotta get a toggle on there. You know, some cool stuff. Don't want to show you my crazy looking head because I illusioned myself. There we go. Much better. Gutens neues Jahr gerutscht. Hey, Kenji. I did not realize... Did I know that you spoke German? Alright, back to the update. How was I able to... Are we able to hide the backpack? Not yet. I just took it off real quick. Kenji said I am German. Did I know that? I think I only speak German to issue with Tari. I mean, there are a couple other people that... You know... Speak in here, but for some reason I didn't know. Make sure your KPIs align with your OKRs. Yeah, no shit, Dargeth. Man, it would be nice if you guys can help us turn this into a real job so that I don't have to ever go back to those environments. Tsunami-san said reagents for early mage pets cost too much when you're just starting. Just one thing I keep running into when money is limited. Hey, yeah, don't let us forget that. We'll get on it. Kenji said, we talked about it a few times, I think. Okay. Like I said earlier, my brain doesn't retain everything. But are you German in Germany, or did you move? Nah, but I always feel bad when we talk about stuff and then I don't remember. Makes me seem like I didn't care, and that's not true. You live near Cologne. That's where I was for Christmas. We always go down there to spend a few days with Jasmine's parents. Well, I mean, I guess because she's from there as well. I mean, they are close. Dude, the undergarments are the things that I'm like gravitating towards. Some of the... I really love that. There's just tons of like nice little details in here. Look at the pauldron. I mean, that's pretty damn spiffy. A little village people here. A little, I know some of you guys are going to throw this on whether you're monks or not and head straight to the bathhouse. I get it. It's okay. You will not be judged. It's fine. Whatever it takes for you to keep paying your subscription, that is all good. AutoKey said, I love that the backpack is visible. Is that going to have a visibility toggle like some games have for helms? Yeah, we want to put some visibility toggles on a couple of things so that we're not too hard line. So it's not like transmog, but it is at least giving you a little bit of control about what shows, because some people are funky about their helmets and backpacks and capes and stuff. So little quality of life. I mean, I dig it. Thunderoos on that one. You guys are going to have so much fun with this stat. I know you are. Never, don't forget that typically I try to make sure that everything's like light boxed or whatever. So you should be able to click on stuff and enlarge it. You'll see that, you know, I'm always trying to make sure that these things get a nice formatting on here. So sometimes stuff gets cropped a little bit, right? So, you know, I don't think I even looked at that the right way the first time I looked at that. Oh, that'd actually be a really, really cool prop. I found a picture like I think it was on Instagram or whatever, where you could kind of walk up around something like this, and then there's like a little, kind of like a little, what would you call it? Like a little balcony, like a private balcony kind of thing. That'd be really cool. But yeah, so we've got some great stuff going on here. Some concepts that we're using in the High Point Terrace area of Night Harbor. So we're still wrapping up the final sort of areas of Night Harbor. So some great stuff whipped up here. A little preview, a quick concept of you know, an area in the Underdock. So there is actually one entire like additional district zone under Night Harbor that will be coming later as part of like the Deep expansion. But there's a river that connects the Deep Elven City all the way through to Night Harbor, and so they've got transport there via ship that kind of runs through the Deep. And so, you know, like we're doing here, where we want a nice like fun, ship traversal zone that's adventurable and, you know, got a bunch of variety to it. We also, you know, will be doing that in the Deep as well. There are going to be just some wild traversal zones. And Grumpy TV said, "Holy shit, this game has come far." Yeah, this is a really new zone that they just started on, but they've done an incredible job of already just, I think, nailing the characterization. And I was showing the guys, for those of you that weren't here a few minutes ago when we just went in, it's shallow shoals, so there's a lot of variety in the depth. So it's going to be one where you're not swimming the whole time, right? Like there's a lot of sort of normal game space, but even a big guy eventually gets down in there. So, and then we'll see what happens if we do some weird wizardry later on when we've got like mounts and stuff with little boats and things like that. We'll kind of see if we can take that, because so much of like what we're trying to hit is like the shit that we thought was cool in EQ and just take it where it could have gone, right? You know, the little canoes in EQ, right? Like let's do a little bit more with those. So we'll see. We're gonna get it figured out. What's up, Darden? Is it perilous to travel? Yeah, well, it'll be safe enough to travel by ship. You'll go a longer route and you'll have a couple stops. But then you can hop off and, you know, explore things at your peril. But there's definitely a reason why the ship comes out way this far away from all of this area that's closer to shore here. So, summon boat for mages. That's an interesting. Safe unless the boat is a mimic. Yeah, that is a problem. We were looking at the update and I got distracted. So anyways, Underdocks. And we didn't, I don't know if we realized at the time, but there's actually an image. One of the old splash screens where I think it's a deep elf and maybe someone else, or maybe two deep elves. And could have sworn it's deep elves overlooking like a ship that's kind of, and it's dark and it's drippy and it's concretey. That's underground as well, right? So if you find that image, I could probably find it really quick. Let's see. All right, some of the UI stuff that you're seeing in play right now. Here is the. Oops, I need to fix that. You need to be able to make that bigger. So you see those guys here. Next time you're in game, use the middle mouse button over your elements and it will change them. We've got some options in here already. You can streamline it all the way down if you want it super clean. But you can also... Oh. Damn, imagine a corpse run when it's on a moving boat full of pirates. Yeah, that is an interesting concept. I don't know if mages could summon boats. I think they would need to have some type of woodworking as their trade skill. Boat seems like something kind of random for a mage to summon. Yeah. Even in the D&D cartoon, I'm not sure if the magician pulled a boat out of his hat. All right, what else we got here? Character art. Got a wasp made it in. It's being animated now. The animations are coming along. Looks super cool in game. We'll go see it in game in a minute. It's actually running around in Evershade already. Got some new armor sets have gone in. Like I said, I'm wearing the cloak already. Zukin put together a bunch of race-specific skeletons. We've got a mushroom man that's being worked on. Our rat guy is coming to life. And the rat men were set up, a little extra work, and the rat men were set up in a way where we can customize them pretty well. Will they be playable? There are no plans to make them playable at this time. Got our Drake animated. Wow. Breath weapon. Chomping you. Got some wood elf animations going on. Looking good. These are being done, if I'm not mistaken, by our new animator. We added an animator right before the holidays. What about Drake saddles so you can ride them? We'll talk more about that after the next update. Some more wasps. Animations. Oh, actually, I'll show you. So the reason why I said that is because Zillith is working on Mount. So logged into Slack one day a few days ago, and he's got a character sitting on top of a giant beetle. It's just like, all right, that's badass. Exciting. Kenji said, I was at the stream where the wasp animation was created, I think. Oh, nice. So on the north side, if you're in the playtest, you may have seen on the north side of town, we have a new inn. And it is the area is starting to show a little bit more of the fact that it's had a lot of investment from the league. So the league's represented over there. So little gazebo. We've turned the old granary into a badass bank. So just some slight differences there. And then if you wander around more, Bjorn's done a fantastic job of continuing to flesh out this part of the stage side. So it's coming together. As you can see, we're still working on the textures, getting the textures ready. But while all this was going on, going into the holiday and stuff, Bjorn went in and updated every single building in Night Harbor to be able to use our new shader. So that's nice. Like I said, if you weren't in here earlier, we're currently in Unity 6 now. So got that up and running. So we're doing some stuff with new light node stuff that's going on and tweaking things. And so there's going to be a lot. There'll be a lot, just a lot of tweaking, a lot of getting everything ready. But we are in Unity 6 and it's all good. Wow, that's bright. The new Unity 6 Sun is definitely you need sunglasses. Yabaganush said, this is all super cool stuff. It's been so awesome seeing all this come together. Hey, welcome. Thank you. Wyvern, I didn't see that earlier ago. Did I thank you for the follow? Thanks for the follow. Trodomir, thank you for the follow as well. Yeah, so just hanging out on an island right now, and then we'll run over and look at some others. Maybe that should be a thing. If you look at this for very long, it just like gives you a little sun blindness for a while. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I've done since I've been in here. I wonder if it worked. It might work. Maybe not. Okay. Curious. Are there plans to allow any kind of weather changing type skills, abilities, or day-night changing? I don't know. I don't know if we've got anything in mind for that. I always like to say, you know, because I'm not the one having to make them or balance them or anything like that. I'm always like, I think all of that type of stuff's fun, and hopefully we get as much just kind of weird random shit in as possible. But AutoKey asked, important question, why can't gnomes be bards yet? So you never know what the race class combos are going to end up over time. So one of the things we wanted to do is make sure that like we didn't create a situation where everybody could be everything. Humans naturally can because humans are awesome, but also because we have over time we'll have 3 or 4 distinct human cultures, and so we'll divide up those options between the cultures as well. So depending on if you start in Night Harbor, or if you're a Sojourner, or if you're over in Eastham, or if you're starting in Terralon, that'll be one thing with humans. And then Dark Elves have a lot of options. Dark Elves, Deep Elves. Use it interchangeably, it's fine. The Deep Elves have a lot of options because they're also, you know, a very, very beloved class that tends to have a lot of representation. So everybody else, we narrowed it at the beginning because over time we want to provide, well, we want to maintain some differentiation between the races, but also over time we want to provide some opportunities for unlock, whether that be quests or different things that you can do in game to be able to unlock access to that, or if it's just as live content's added. And we do, you know, release a new module and there's an update that basically allows it. So it gives us something to kind of release over time, and hopefully we're backing that with some good fictional reasons, or at least a fun justification for why we're doing it then. So that's been the story so far. Trodomir said, Trodomir, Stone Shield, a Dwarf Paladin from original EQ. Nice. Welcome again. Yeah, so this is a zone that you take the ship through on your way to. We're roughing in. You know what? It's very, very rough, but I don't mind showing you. It's in progress. We are actually doing true, actual, for real open development. AutoKey, did that answer your question? Here, I'm gonna zone to a zone, and then I'm gonna zone to another zone. But we're currently roughing out, so you're seeing it like very much gray box. I'm gonna pop in here, and then I'm gonna pop to the next zone. See where we land when we go in there. And this is the new song that's playing. Oh, I should continue showing a freaking update. I get so easily distracted. Speaking of sojourners, got a wagon here. And speaking of zones that we're heading towards, we've got some nice pictures of Fail and Draw and Evershade below it, and the ruins and shallow shoals. And you can kind of see what we're doing with the different depths here. We got like the deep ocean as you go further west, but then we've got like a carve out boat path, and we've got the different depth for players running around in there. You can already start to see some of the areas. I already spoiled it a little bit. Some new props will be showing up. If you're in the, when you're running through Night Harbor, you'll see that we're replacing some of those old placeholder props with actual new props. That's nice. Some of you may have even seen some of this being pulled together. Can you attack those? No, you cannot. AutoQ said, yeah, for sure. I love the differences between races. Just have to hope Gnome Bard happens someday. Good to know that we have another gnome lover. And yeah, some new props. Like these are actually usable in game, so that's nice. We've got this is a song that's playing right now, so you can find it. It's on the playlist already. You can hear this in the inn in Night Harbor, the Shaded Bloom. Big design update. Those of you that have been tracking like the release notes, and I think if you were in the playtest, you should have seen these. Like if you're checking Discord, we've got a pretty massive tech update as well. Top bullet, move the game to Unity 6. And yeah, there's a number of kind of big ones in here. Left a few of them buried in here, so you have to find them, but I'll go ahead and spoil it now for you guys. Animals can now be tamed and will be permanent pets that stay in the world if you log out, though they must be stabled and fed. We've also got the initial groundwork in for the devotion system, allowing for the worship of multiple faiths, as well as tithing items and currency. So we've got this nice video breakdown of the UI functionality that I was showing you. If you weren't in the stress test, you didn't see, or I guess if you've made a character recently, maybe you would see that you can pick starting locations. We'll unlock that. Multiple pets, control for multiple pets. So yeah, pretty big update. Do we anticipate lots of questing being available for EA? I imagine fleshing those out is a ton of work. I mean, we're not a quest-driven game. We feel like there will be a decent amount of quests available along with, you know, MUD interactions and like text-based environmental interaction, things like that. So yeah, we're building that stuff in parallel as we go, but it's not, you know, no one should ever expect that it's kind of like a WoW-ish quest-heavy game. It's going to feel a lot more like original EQ in that regard. Yeah, so we are gray boxing another zone. This is the zone. Let me go ahead and I'm going to come over here. I'm not going to show you a ton of it, but what I will show you is, but I mean, ultimately you'll see it when we're working in here. So it's not like, so we're plopping in a bunch of stuff to kind of get a feel for size. And so it's very much a, you know, our gray box is always kind of colorful. But as you're coming from the zone we're in, Shallow Shoals, you'll eventually come in here and there'll be a bay here that you're dropped off at. And then you're able to, go back out. Is this a Luckland zone? Darius, why would you ask that? What do you mean? Hey, what's up, Nicodemus? Yeah. Like I said, this is a gray box zone where we put it in really quick before we start doing any work. That's why it's so smooth. It's a lot easier for the artist that's working on it to blast this out really quick before we start to de-res it and make it feel like ours. So, and this is where the ship will land. See, you can tell everything's very placeholder. We will not be doing any sort of mashed potato rounding of our hills and stuff. The team will be more than happy to tell you how quickly feedback pops up on that one. And then zone ever. Brex, I was just referencing you the other day. I referenced you in Discord, but not by name because the only Brex I saw in there, I wasn't sure if it was actually you. I didn't tag you. But I did mention that I had a friend who is a troll who is the king of the halflings. We were talking about factioning and like the fact that some people like to faction up and be able to hang out in strange places. So I was so close to tagging that Brex, but I wasn't 100% sure if the Brex in Discord was you or not. I should have just done it anyways. Nice. I figured it would be. And work is continuing in here. So I wanted to find one of those bees really quick. This must be the zone that introduces players to fall damage. Oh, for sure. The bats. You'll notice, another thing you'll notice is as we've moved stuff over to, or basically move it over to Unity 6, there'll be a little, like, a bit of a weird shine on some stuff or whatever. Don't sweat that. We've got it. Wanted to find a bee for you. Find a wasp. Once testing starts here, we need a KPI for falling deaths. Oh, I wonder if we could track the cause of death in that regard. There's got to be a way to do it. That would be a nice stat. Come on, Wasp, where are you? I know there's some in here. Hello, tree. There we go. Yep, so new mob. Got placeholder animations, but the new animations are being worked on right now. And yeah, that's always nice to see come online. Need an NPC by the zone you can hail for the falling death body count of the zone. It's an interesting idea. Number of days without fall death, 0. Nice. Yeah, so Bilth is in here just kind of working away on it. You got to watch out for these because you can fall through. I think the fog looks different now than it did before Unity 6, so we'll probably, we'll probably be tweaking the fog and stuff again as we're getting everything kind of settled in. Blood shrooms. You guys are... You're building out entire lore for the undead and stuff under here. I like it. We'll have to crib some of that. I think once the water is in the river, this will be a fun spot. Yeah. So, I think that covered it. I think the only other news is we were talking about it earlier. We've got a new role posted. So let's hit that and go to team. You can find it in Discord. It'll be where we usually post roles. If you don't use our Discord, you can come here. Currently looking for a trade skill designer. What's up, Crescent? So if you are somebody that is really into trade skills and also into the idea of maintaining and developing a pretty crazy like breadth of trade skills and profession types. You're a systems thinker. You're somebody that's got a lot of familiarity with the various MMO trade skill setups that are out there. You're going to be able to articulate that here. I'll run down to the criteria. You can read the rest of it here. So you know about the project. you've taken your time, done your research. You have a strong understanding of existing MMORPG trade skills, professions, etc., with the ability to properly contextualize them against what we're doing in M&M, right? And now that this completely out there stuff that we may never be able to do. Strong understanding of non-MMORPG crafting systems. So if you're somebody that likes to play some of the other games that are out there that are, you know, either survival based or you know, crafting or what's the term? I'm forgetting the term right now. I'm forgetting my words. No, like hello, like Factorio and all that stuff, right? That's a game. Did I just make that up? I didn't make that up. That's the right name for it. If you're into the stuff that Ollie loves, spending hours and hours on, if you're somebody that really enjoyed some of the other systems out there, whether that be Star Wars Galaxies or EQ2 or UO or whatever. Hey, what's up, Datham? There's some crazy, you know, there's some crazy Minecraft derivatives and Minecraft likes, and mods and all that stuff. So if you're somebody that's really into that, and you take it pretty seriously, and you think you're able to deconstruct those and you know, work with us to take what we have, because we've got trade skills in. They're coming along nicely. Nick's gotten, you know, just there's a ton of recipes in. There's stuff that you can make already, and wanted to make sure that you guys in the playtest you could already see and interact with our trade skills, and you know, like we've done work and sort of updating the trade skill interface, and so we've got something that we're happy with. It feels like a solid start, but the more we think about like the sense of place that we want to establish and how much we want people to, that are, you know, they want to do some adventuring, but they like being around the city, especially a city like Night Harbor. You like the idea of eventually having your own storefront or having a shop, or, you know, being somebody that goes out and kind of adventures and really invests in harvesting and loads your pack animal up with ore and then comes back in, right? Like you're in a guild where you got some people gathering, you've got some people investing in their mounts or the pack animals or wagons to gather. You've got other people that really like just kind of being around town and doing trade skills, and you like those interdependencies that are part of that at times and all that stuff. If you're that person, you know, then we'd be interested in providing you with something that feels a bit more compelling, I guess, and a bit more integrated and fleshed out. So that's what we're looking for here. If we find somebody, amazing. If we don't find somebody, we're going to continue to move ahead. We think we can get, you know, some, like a really decent, fun foundation for trade skills in by early access. But the more we talked about it and the more we kind of looked at whose time's being used up on it and how much more we'd like to do, because we've got a crazy list of stuff that we want to do with regards to like trade skills, then it just seems like a natural fit for us to see if there's somebody out there that would want to work with us on that. So if somebody's applying, you know, demonstrable experience with the previous 2 points on here and the ability to clearly articulate them, ability to constructively, diplomatically, and concisely communicate ideas and feedback, both verbally and visually, including diagramming, wireframing, etc. Experience with or the ability to learn how to work with relational databases, because this individual is actually going to be implementing it, not just writing up documents. And as with everybody on the team, you need to be exceptionally proactive, self-managed, solution-oriented, and patient. The team is very patient. Thank God. Nice to haves. Passion for classic MMORPGs, survival, crafting focused, and pen and paper games. Familiarity with Unity. The ability to work with SQL. If this individual's got a programming background in C#, fantastic. And UX experience. So, those who watch the stream, I'll give you a spoiler. You need to read all the way down to the bottom. So yeah, that's just in case there's anybody out there that's interested. So Dargit said patience is useful in dealing with Zukin. That guy, Zukin, is one of the sweetest people on the team. He is a sweet teddy bear. He will occasionally put on a grumpy facade to trick you, but he's not. Zukin's by far the most humble. That is not true. I am the most humble. Yeah. So those of you that have been in here for the last like 30, 40 minutes and you've seen some of our new stuff that's going on. What's going to end up happening soon is we've got enough zones going on that you'll wind up you'll see less and less of the work that's being done in different zones, like, and the playtest will become more and more of a surprise just because we'll be working on things that we're not able to show everything in a stream anymore. So depending on what streams you go to check out, which I encourage you to check out all of the other streams, the teams streaming most typically kind of like US hours. So the guys are typically in your time zones. But a lot of times you guys ask how can we support the project, how can we support the team. I don't have subscriptions enabled here, just because I live in Germany and there's some questions about taxes and insurance and other stuff we didn't want to screw with, so we just turned it off. But the rest of the team is fair game. So if you're checking out the other guys' streams regularly, you want to subscribe, then definitely please support them. It helps them out. ZBrush is on right now, but he's not doing MM. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, the guys can stream whatever they want on the team. Like, sometimes it'll be M&M stuff, and sometimes it may be their own project. It's their streams. I'd like to think that this is my stream as well, but the reality is that my stream's kind of an M&M stream. So every once in a while, it's a little less M&M focused if I'm ranting about some random shit or doing something else, but ultimately it is a M&M stream. Zone Night Harbor. Darius just asked, "Hey, Esam, what's going on, buddy? Still enjoying the new house?" Very much, but can't sleep well. Weird. Can't sleep well in the house? Are there going to be racial traits like dark vision, or is everyone going to have access to the 4 racial trait options in character crate? Some traits will wind up being race specific, yes. What else? Is there anything else that I just covered? Scrolling up right now. Sanami-san said trade skill recipes need to pop up in the side window. Right now, if you have anything in a bag, you can't the recipe. Interesting. Have to look at it. Tsunami-san, are you in our Discord? Yeah, I mean, if you want to point it out, like just screenshot it and sort of point out what you're running into, that'll help us. That way it doesn't get missed. Will you still select traits in the character crate even if they're race specific? Or will some be innate to the race? For example, ogres get dark vision or ultra vision. Do we have to opt for it, or will all ogres have it? I'm unsure where we're gonna land on that. I'm unsure. I'm of the mind that there should be some that are just race specific, and it's just you've already got it. It's already highlighted, and it's listed in there, and then you've got the other ones that you pick. But we'll see where we land on that. Yeah, so anyway, since getting in Unity 6, I think, especially with my machine and running, like, streaming on the same box as, like, running the editor, I feel it a little bit, but we'll be looking at that. I said it kind of feels like it's hitting back where it was, so we'll be looking at some optimizations. So you can't really tell. I think it was Dargith. Who was it that was asking about the shader? So it's not something that's like... Oh, Darius was asking, okay. So you can see it a little bit in here, but I think me showing it right now is probably not the best showcase of it. It will be, yeah, you can see it on the edges here, and you can kind of see it in here, and then but it'll be something that there'll be a bigger effect. It'll show better once we've got all the textures going. We're still working with the light nodes and trying to, I guess, figure out exactly how that's going to work with everything here. And all of that will lead to more tweaks, likely more tweaks with lighting and other settings, just to get everything kind of feeling normal again. So still a lot of placeholder going on here, but one of these days in the not too horribly distant future, you'll see this come together. Hey, what's up? Happy New Year, Unchained. I hope you had a good holiday. Yeah, my depending on what zone we're in, like the new lighting's really, like, it's really nice. different hours of the day. Like it's very noticeable. Again, there's so much there's so much placeholder right now that sometimes it's a little hard to see. But like this whole so speaking of, this whole district is new. And you'll see more I think there'll be more adventure-based targets in this area for some of you guys that are up there in levels. So this is a bit more higher class area. Some construction going on over here still. No, there's not a stress test happening right now. Oh man, I killed you guys with the live notification. Sorry about that. The go live notification. I tricked you into coming in here. The bins did get fleshed out. I should probably just always leave the little stress test on the notification. Just keep baiting you guys to pop in. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the frame rate, like before the Unity 6 update, the frame rate was really nice in here. So there's some optimizations that we'll have to hit in editor again, or because Zillith had it going really nicely, but like I said, we've just moved over, so. But the bins has been updated. What did Unity 6 give you that made it worth the move? It's a great question for Ollie, and the guys. There's a lot to do with the lighting that we were looking forward to, and I think there are a number of other things that are a bit more techy. On the design side, it didn't really have a huge impact. Are all these NPCs down here hostile to players? Yeah. There are a lot of hostiles in the zone, but you're able to work up your faction with some of the different gangs that are down there. And so, depending on who you're aligned with gang-wise, you'll be able to enter, different taverns that are down there, and maybe be able to sell to them, and find some other content, right? So there's at least 3 gangs, major gangs, that run the bends, and then there's some other weird folks in there that you can run to. Will each gang have a competing faction table so that you can't have them all like you? Yeah. Earn gang tats. Well, we don't have tats yet. So, but if we did have tattoos, I think that might be feasible. Yeah, so first stream back. I don't know how long's it been since I streamed. A while. Let me look. What, 2-3 weeks? No, it couldn't have been that much. I think the last stream was probably, yeah, like 2.5 weeks. I'm trying to think. I came into today's stream, dude. Basically, I got up at 5 this morning so that I could hop on a call at 6. It is now 9:30 p.m. So I am definitely feeling it. Jasmine and I basically slept in every day that we could. I had family visiting for 10 days prior to the holiday. Then we went down and visited her family during Christmas. Then came back here and basically just like relaxed as much as possible, slept in as much as possible, and this week has been like a tough reacclimation. I don't know if anybody else had an opportunity to do that. I hope you guys did. Oh, another thing in Unity 6, we've been using Crest the whole time for our water. I think Unity 6 has got some good stuff going on with the water, but I don't know that we've looked into that yet. What else with Unity 6? It's a great question though. I think that's one that it'd be nice to get like a write-up from the guys on like why we made the change. Because then we could just basically bring that up or point you to it or whatever. Maybe put it on the FAQ. Trying to think what else. Today's stream is completely unprepared. I came into it. I was just my goal for today was to have a stream, do a stream. So I'm heavily dependent on you guys. I'm not going to do any work today. Yeah, proof of live stream basically. It won't be a long one. We'll just go 2 hours. That'll put it at 10 o'clock my time. And then I can get to bed at a decent hour, and then also get up again at like 5:30 in the morning tomorrow with Jasmine. So, yeah. Anybody get anything good for Christmas? John said, all I've wanted to do this week is sleep. I blame the winter blues. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing, right? Especially, you know, in your part of the world where it's gray and cold. Those of you that are coming in for the first stream, if you watch VODs, then I guess you understand that, I mean, this isn't like completely different from other streams. I'm just doing even less work. Breck said, my brother got me a magic pack and I pulled a foil doubling. I pulled a foil doubling season. Shrug. Tell me more, Brick, so I understand. Things I did not do this Christmas. Yes, Magic the Gathering cards. I understand that part. Yes. Double tokens you make it's good. Worth good money. The terminology is lost on me. It may just be because I'm not deep enough into the culture. Speaking of which, Jasmine and I need to play again. Card pack was like $5. The card itself is like $100. Ah, okay. That makes more sense to me. It's true. Dargith, it's true. I'm officially old. Justin Beard says, Robot, I'm confused. Looks like the M&M server rel is up, but I get a message saying I can't enroll. My characters are there too. It's not accessible. Sorry for any confusion. Yeah, I lied to you guys with my notification message that said stress test. It was unintentional. I at least updated the title of the stream beforehand, but I totally forgot that there was a custom notification message. Thanks, Darius. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a point of, like, a frame of reference for where we're at. Do you guys have a way of seeing if people open the game and attempt to connect when the servers are down? I believe we should be able to see that, but I don't know that we actually, like, track and do anything with that data. One of the things that we'll be working on with Wani and probably I'm not sure who all is going to be involved in that. But Swanee and the guys we'll be looking at, you know, we want to get better funnel tracking in so that we can see everything from, like, registration through install, through clicked button to get, you know, basically clicked button to get into game, got into character create, like, track the various churn points along the way so that we can keep an eye on, just see if we have any issues in specific, like, at specific points in the entry funnel. What's up, Aaron Gunn? Let's see. Unchained said, my granddaughter had a wonderful Christmas. She loves Hot Wheels, cars, and fire trucks. Nice. That's got to be rad, man. It's fun. It's fun hanging out with the family on Christmas. Going down to Cologne or Cologne, and we always eat good there. We're always well taken care of. I ate so much the last couple of weeks, and so much candy, so many treats, so much chocolate. So this week has been the first week back working out as well, on top of the schedule change, and I am freaking wrecked. Today is my day off in the middle of 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, and then the weekend for this block. And it's, dude, I'm sore, I'm sleepy, I'm tired. I'm just gonna sit here and whine for a while. Cologne has a nice Christmas market near it. Good food, but also a horse with gnarly mustache. Yeah, we took my family down to the Christmas market that's at the Dome, and then another one that's closer to the river, and let them check that stuff out when we are here. Commodore said, appreciate the chill stream while I work. Sometimes you just need a healthy dose of M&M soundtrack. Yep, that's what it's here for. Speaking of which, I gotta catch up with you. I swear I had a conversation somewhere in Slack with you and Stab about the next area for you guys in Night Harbor. And then I could not find it in Slack. I was looking for it earlier today. I was like, did I imagine that whole thing? I thought maybe the actual sort of kickoff conversation might have just been with Stab because you weren't available, but it was, like, easy enough to pass along. I don't remember what happened there. Might be in a huddle thread. I can look. Okay. Yeah, I swear I had a conversation. We talked about that area, that secret area. You know, it's a secret, but you guys are going to be working on it. You know the area I mean? But you do know the area, right? Very secret, very cool. Yes, that one. You've already started. Okay, great. Perfect. Yeah, I didn't so I didn't hear like we should get a thread going on that. So, and then I was talking to Ollie and Nick earlier today, and we were talking about, remember how you wrote up the garrison, the first thing that you did? I'm thinking as you guys hit future areas, a write-up like that would be really huge. That would be super helpful, I think. Because we're talking ahead to like future zones and stuff. Like basically going through establishing sort of the kickoff groundwork like we did for the last before the bends, right? Like, you know, that wasn't a ton, but it seemed like it was enough information to get you guys going. For like full zones, it'd be nice to kind of run through, get some groundwork in place for various like POIs and some of the things that we really, you know, want to see in there. Then do the kickoff with you guys like we did before, and then do like allocate time for you to, like, you guys get together and then bust out a document. Doesn't have to have the maps and stuff like that, like the one you did before, as I said, but like, you know, basically let you kind of break out what you think the plan of attack is, and then we've got that, and then we can also identify anywhere where, like, maybe if you want some additional support from like Nick, doing some, you know, SQL magic for you or whatever, then we can identify that, and then basically we know, because a zone's so much bigger in terms of like the overall time investment and the stuff that you guys would be working on, then we know you're good to go. We could break it up into potentially even like discrete check-in points, and then just bam, we know it's happening. And that's going to be nice because we've got right before the holidays, we picked up another new team member from Scotland. So on the environment side, rad guy, very experienced dude. So more about that in a bit. We'll probably mention something about that in the next update. And then yeah, we're just, you know, we've got our schedule for everything that we want to get done for early access. That's coming along nicely. Those of you that haven't heard this like spiel before or whatever, yeah, Uncle Jay, sorry about that. My stream notification lied. I did not mean to I did not mean to bamboozle you guys in here. But yeah, so everything that we've got on the early access FAQ for what we're wanting to get in for early access, we're still on track with that so far. It's nice. But we have some room. I was explaining this to someone yesterday in a conversation. Our schedule going into early access is actually not just early access. So we built our schedule for this year is all of the early access zones, plus another 5 or 6 zones that we'd want to have available after we go into early access, so that we've already got the momentum going for the first module, the first update, a big update. And so if anything starts to slip, if for some reason, you know, zones are taking longer than expected, or, you know, there's some tech reasons why we decide we gotta, well, honestly, it'd be mostly if zones, you know, maybe NPCs, but like if zones are taking longer to bring online than we anticipated, then that would actually eat into the buffer that's created by us wanting to get those deep zones ready for right after early access goes live. So we don't want to do that. Like, we want to be able to stay on course with rolling into early access with content kind of in the bag and ready to go, and get in that habit of like having stuff available that we can then comfortably roll out, and then, you know, be working on the next stuff, and right, just get our live cadence going so that we've got modules sort of after modules working our way through chunks of early access, right, trying to get to 1.0. So that's the hope. Like, that's what we're pushing ourselves for right now. It's not to just get, you know, all of the desert zones and shallow shoals and deep dunes, representative sort of deep zone under the desert, you know, Keeper's Bite and Evershade, and all of those zones. We want to get all those zones so that we've got them for early access launch, but then we also want to just be ready to hit you with the deep stuff, you know, sometime after that. Because the other thing that happens, you'll see it a lot with live games. You'll see it with, you know, I think you see it with other games that have gone into early access and stuff like that. Is you push as hard as you can to get the stuff that's needed done in time, and usually most schedules like slip a bit, so you're like coming in hot, or you're coming in maybe like with some stuff not fully complete or whatever from the initial commitment, and then, and instead of saying you, I'll say we, and then we as developers will run into a situation where the game's live, so you've got a shitload of feedback, you're finding all sorts of bugs. You know, all of a sudden there's some things that maybe weren't on our priority list that then, you know, they're a big priority for the community. So we're like, ah, shit, we got to take care of that really quick. You know, and so all of those things can start to like eat you up on like the live support side. And then balancing that against making new content and getting the first expansion out if you're live, or getting more of the early access content out if you're in EA. Those things can add up really quick and really kind of eat into the momentum. So that's just something that we're hoping to avoid as much as possible. You can say this VOD will be here, and if you know, if we find that we don't pull that off, or screwed a pooch on that one or whatever, then you can always reference this one and be like, hey dude, thought you had a plan. But that's kind of where we're at, right? So Robot out here doing project management in his dreams. I mean, it's just, dude, like I said, I context switch a lot, and like project management's always in the back of my head. Right, so it's been a fun, you know, it's a fun balance on this project, because it's like I get to do actual implementation work, do a lot of the lore work behind the scenes, working with other folks on the team, and, you know, work with the art guys, and kind of help manage some like more sort of line producer in the trenches kind of stuff, or stuff that maybe would be picked up by like a art director or design director or whatever. And then, dude, and then it's, yeah, standard project management stuff. And then it's also sort of the high level production stuff that we've got to talk about as well, right? Like, you know, because we've got people like Swanee helping us get everything set up for payments. And then, you know, like I was saying, 10-20 minutes ago, it's like funnel tracking, and so we're able to pull metrics and kind of see like what's going on, like do, you know, big kid grown up studio shit where we've got some KPIs that we're tracking and seeing how things are performing. So yeah, no, and you're not giving me a hard time at all. I actually take it as a compliment if you're saying like, oh, because you wonder if all right, you said giving you a hard time because you said you thought you dreamed up the conversation. I honestly, this morning I was like, did I just make all this shit up? I swear I talked to these guys about this. Is the trade skill position mostly conceptualization designer role or true developer? It is going to be a very systems designery role. So it's going to be not just conceptualization, Uncle. It's going to be, you know, we need somebody that can actually sit down and map out, you know, how each one of the trade skills structured, what the interdependencies are, like what are the interdependent points, what inputs are we using, kind of what are the processes, somebody that has the idea about like the actual user experience of doing the trade skill, and is that trade skill, do we have like a bunch of crafting that sort of have one user experience, and then some of the other trade skills are going to use other formats? Are the skills that are different formats, are there interdependencies though? Are those, you know, various gathering skills, or even something like fishing? How are they considered in terms of being inputs to these other systems? What drains are in place? You know, how are we actually using these skills and kind of professions as drains? How they tie in with housing? How they tie in with other players in terms of the social interaction? That's a lot of what the interdependencies are there for. What's the progression on them? So that trade skill designer needs to understand progression, and be able to map that out. So it's, you know, it's a bit of a kind of a numbers balancing type role as well, right? Somebody that's comfortable in spreadsheets, somebody that's comfortable with flowcharts, somebody that can concisely express design concepts, and then somebody that can also do all of that stuff and really own it and run it. And trade skills often, right, there's a technical sort of logic, economic brain that's happening with trade skills, and on the other side of your skull there's the creative brain, and really making the trade skills tell stories, right? Because all the components that get created, they could be generic, right? And sure, or they can be very like region specific, you know, components. And what about the other regions then, and how are we going to tie that in? And, you know, like really have some like good conversations with us about, all right, here's kind of how I picture the economy being set up if we've got these regional components and there's scarcity of these other components, you know, here. And how's that going to interact with some of the ideas that we've got with regards to mounts, pack animals, caravans, ships? Like it's a pretty no bullshit tough role if it's done right. And then, like I was saying, the components and the products that you make in a trade skill system can really tell a story, just like the story of, you know, an item where, you know, you just through like descriptions and naming and the components that come together, those paint a picture. They tell a little bit of a story, right? So I think it's a really badass role. I think it's something it's going to be hard to hire for. And you know, we'll see, but if there is somebody out there that it's a very high effort role. Like it's a lot of hands-on, because all that shit I was just describing, then on top of it, you've got the individual's going to be in the database, right? And their life's going to be a little bit easier if they either know SQL or can learn SQL, if they're comfortable touching a relational database, right? So it's a it's a big role. It's a big role, but done well, it's one of those things that it's not expensive in terms of like, it doesn't, you know, for us to do trade skills really, really well, it doesn't cost us a lot of extra art assets necessarily. It's not highly technically sophisticated to the point where we've got to like do some high risk coding or any of this shit. Like it's a very true design role, and it's an area where we feel like, I mean, you know, sometimes it feels like maybe we're high on our own supply at times, but I feel like we're able to punch above our weight in a number of areas. Ghastly just came and said Twitch notification on my phone said stress test. I've never logged in so fast in my life to be so disappointed, or to be disappointed. I'm sorry. I really am sorry about that. I updated and I just looked at the title, and the title was like Monsters Memory Stress Test. Like, oh shit, I got to change that. I didn't even look one box farther down to see the notification. So I owe you one. But yeah, so the role for the trade skills will wind up being one that ideally the ideal candidate's also kind of at a point in their life where they're able to commit a bit more time. It's going to be a fair amount of work. Like we tell everybody though, we're not looking for people to. This isn't a full-time job for all but a couple of us. And even then, it's not a job, right? Like we're volunteering our time, and we just happen to have more time. But it's one where we would need this person to be able to put in a reasonable number of hours each week, and it would need to be pretty consistent, right? So yeah, that's trade skills. I mean, there's even more to it. We could get even deeper if anybody's got questions. If it's something you're maybe interested in, you've got more questions, like ask them. Let's talk about it. And then we'll go from there, because there's definitely some there's some thoughts on it. All my homies says, I don't recall seeing this anywhere, but is there a plan for auction houses? I feel like it goes hand in hand with trade skills, or since you have caravan shipping planned, does that null and void auction houses? Yeah, no plans for auction house at the time, at this time, because we want to, rather than automate this stuff, we want there to be incentives for players to have player run shops or guild run shops. We've got concepts like the consignment containers to help people like give their goods to other people to sell for them, so that the other players become kind of a mini auction house of a sort. But it's up to them to be a bit more active. We're trying to kind of merge the idea of like Bazaar meets East Commons Tunnel with regards to, we want it to be player driven. We want it to be, we want to encourage manual selling in, the auction channel and all that shit. But we want to make it easy for players that don't want to do that to give their items to other people to do that for them, right? Because there are people that like to play that. So, is there a merchant type trait? And there is a merchant type trait in the trait selection window. Does the commerce skill just affect vendor prices? The commerce skill needs to be fleshed out. And so at the moment, I believe it affects vendor prices oh so slightly, but it was mainly just to get the bones of the system in. Does chat have a trade channel? We should have an auction channel. I thought we had /auction already. Trodomir said it's a job my wife could do in her sleep. Passing it along to her. Oh, right on. Jordan Knox says, I do love the economics side of it. Economics is fascinating. Yeah, Ollie, our wonderful coding farmer, actually, that's what he's got his degree in, if I'm not mistaken, is economics. And again, we find a lot of the stuff that we've seen in like Star Wars Galaxies, as you're saying, Talet, and UO and other games. We find that stuff to be pretty fascinating and enriching in terms of like the sense of place, the sense of having more of a living world. So that's what we're curving off. That's kind of what we're looking at. So Game Lore says UO has always been top tier for trades. Yeah, I mean, it was even when I was working on EQ, just that aspect of UO was always just fascinating. Hey, Chinny D. No worries. Was showing off not everything, but a little bit of the zone here, because it's just such a fun vibe. Sneaky Russian says Swigs merchant system and market search for those merchants with peak economics between players. However, economics like in PoE that requires player-to-player trading turned me off from wanting to participate in economics in online games now. I don't have hours to spend buying, selling things, just want to play the game. So Sneaky Russian, that's why we're putting in things like the consignment containers, right? So escrow or consignment containers. So you can basically give your items to another player to sell for you and establish the terms. So you don't have to. It's basically like treating other players as a bit of an auction house, so that you've got players. They'll have shops set up. They'll have stands set up. They may be traveling merchants. You give them the items. There's set criteria, for like what price you want to get for it. You know, potentially what their commission is. Anything above that price that they sell it for, they get to pocket. So if you give them, you know, whatever, you give them a shiny little shield and you want 10 platinum for it, and they're able to sell it and they're going to get 10% commission. If they're able to sell it for 20 platinum, then they get to basically keep that. Yeah, so things like that. And so you just give them the items, and if they don't sell it within a certain amount of time, because they don't have possession of the stuff, they can't sell it for less than what you've set up the contract for. They can't delete it. They can only possess it for whatever amount of time you allow them to possess it for. We'll have to work on figuring out like some of the various exploits and stuff, but odds are there'll be location-based or regional-based drop-off points. So it's not like you can give this to somebody and then go across the world because it's difficult to transport or whatever, and then it teleports to you. We'll have to work on some of that stuff. Odds are it'll wind up going to, I don't know, the custom shop in the closest city or some shit like that. But in terms of whether or not, you know, they can just take off with it, that's not an actual issue. Jordan says, I'm curious how ports wouldn't obsolete caravans. Is the plan to make things very heavy so you can only carry a few things without a pack animal? Or yeah, there'll be a number of things that fall into that, and then we'll be looking at essentially what restrictions exist for things like port. Sounds like a fun idea for those that don't like to spend time buying and selling, and hopefully a fun idea for those that do like spending time buying and selling. All right, so we want to accommodate both. I think I've told the story a few times in the past that my guild we were the, you know, like the #1 guild on my server in EQ, and at one point we were made aware of like this level 13 or 15 Vashir who had like the most money on the server, and his name was Tradescat, with a Z, Tradescat. So if Tradescat from 7th Hammer is out there, I have told your story many times, but Tradescat, like all he did was buy and sell, and he made so much cash. So we brought him into the guild and then took him on adventures and let him see the rest of the game, because he really hadn't played the game. He was just trading all the time. So let's see. Brex said, LOL, role-playing the shifty cart vendor in newbie zones is such a dream. Who wants or needs bottles of milk, maybe a clocher, or maybe a torch? Exactly. And then you can buy crap off of them that they've got, like, you know, stacks of whatevers, and then take them in. So take them in and give them to, I don't know, trade skill people, or just take them and sell them. Yeah, idea of caravans is awesome if it can be made to be useful. We'll see what we can do. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if the thing that we don't nail is like awesome caravans, but everything else is awesome, then we're good. So, but we'll definitely be working on that stuff. Can I have a caravan that sells spell books like a mobile library? Why not? Wallabius says, live consignment reminds me of the early days in Everfrost, vendoring fine steel weapons off ice giants and keeping the gold changed so players didn't have to leave camp. Exactly. And that's why it's stuff like that where, you know, some of the restrictions that we've had in the past with regards to where you could sell certain things, all of that, it's all been implemented with the idea of like these things building on top of each other to make it to make it to where you want to have something like a pack animal as early as possible. I mean, we saw that, like, that was one of the first things that stood out that Chinny D was doing during one of the first like stress tests. Was it was just amazing to us to watch this dude figure out how to essentially like arbitrage items from the shifty merchants to the right spots to build up cash, to basically be the first guild, to then have a bunch of other goblins running around like hustling to like that type of stuff's just amazing. Will breeding pack animals and animal husbandry be considered? Yeah. Matter of fact, if you read the update, you already see that we're taking steps in that direction in the last update. Sneaky Russian says, I forgot, lots of games in development right now. Did Eminem have a form of corpse summoning? It will. We will. Hey, Zukin. What other questions? Someone came in and just said something about the view here. Okay, Gasly asked the zone. Chinny answered since Chinny's working on it. Chinny, did you do the little waterfall that's in here? Autokey asked, I think I saw a note about pet taming in the patch. Is that something anyone can do or only certain classes? Yes. Maybe both. More details to come on that, and it may just depend. I've got to show Jasmine this. Like, this is our water park vacation, Florida water park vacation, kind of like in a nutshell here. Trini D, if you're out there, did you add this little thing? I have questions. Feels like a decent start towards updating our waterfalls. My skin's burnt just looking at that. That's why you got to sit under the palm tree. That's Simon's creation. Okay, cool. I could picture Deep Gnome sitting here with like a little parasol, like sun umbrellas. Can you swim up to the waterfall? We can, but I don't want to ruin the mystique for you. Physical merch will be later. It's a thing we discuss a fair amount on it's not a server cost to help pay for server costs. Yeah, it's not a. So I had this conversation with the team. So there are a few things with us doing physical merch that's kind of made it so that we haven't acted on it yet. We really, really want to do it. We've got a shop set up that we buy some stuff off of for ourselves on occasion. There are a few things that need to be done before we could actually let that go live. First thing we want to do is finally be at a point where we would want to take money from you guys. We're still not there yet. So there's that. The next thing is we've got some setup to do in there before it would be ready for prime time. Some of that has to do with like making sure that shipping costs are taken care of properly, that the integration is in a state that we're happy with it, and that we've basically gone through and sort of looked at the best way to minimize any sort of customer service hassle that you guys may get from it. There's some stuff with the way the payments work with it that we want to iron out, and then ultimately the second we start taking cash from you guys, we've actually got to do a bit better bookkeeping. We maintain our books. Like if you look at last year's end of year update, we published like how much we've spent to date as of last year. We've got an update to that number. I think I might have thrown a screen grab in Discord. And you know, so far for the project, we've spent literally just right over like 102,000 as of last month on the project. And the second we have the shop running, we actually need to do like legit bookkeeping. And then there are the potential tax implications at the end of the year and all that stuff, right? So it's we just don't want to go live with it and basically find ourselves in a situation where we're providing inadequate customer support. You guys order something fucks up with the shop, and then it's not taken care of in a timely manner, right? Like we don't want to seem lame because folks wanted a t-shirt and something happened and we didn't take care of it because we were too busy making the game, right? So it's all of this has been discussed internally, and you know, yeah, I think that covers everything, right? So let me see. Hold on one second. X camera, yeah, all expenses come out of pocket. Everything's bootstrapped. Will early access have customer service, or will you all be playing the roles of customer service as well? We'll absolutely be playing the role of customer service as well. The degree to which we'll have additional customer service will be something that we'll probably have more info for you on that. Probably in Q2 of this year. So we'll let you know what our plan is for that. Model for this project is something that should be studied academically. It's really impressive how far the project's come as a passion project. I mean, appreciate it. Yeah, how far we've actually come to date is already, it feels like a nice success. But at the end of the day, like, our goal is to get into early access, be live, have an actual sort of like, you know, commercial, like prove that this is not just a hobby, it's like an actual commercial project. And then from there, then we can talk a little bit more about like how things have worked. Just because until the game's in your hands and you're paying money, it really hasn't worked. It's just been a thing that we've been trying. But the amount that we've gotten done, I mean, it's kind of like the old. We were talking about this yesterday. There have been successful mods in the past that basically became commercial projects over time, right? So it's not like it's unprecedented. We're just very, very open about what we're doing and try to answer as many questions as possible. Even if I can't answer it, then we'll, direct people to Discord, where you usually get the answers that you need. And per your previous Unity question, for us, we've got no revenue and we've got no funding. So it's that's been their actual approach on that has been helpful for us. But once we've got revenue coming in, then it'll be a different story in terms of those costs. But that's something we've already factored in. Zukin says, so about those body type. Oh, the Discord discussion the other day? Make sure I'm not missing something over here. So this is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it wasn't part of our update, but it was mentioned in Discord. Yeah, were you thinking about us having multiple body types for every model eventually? No, just humans. Just humans. All the other models can get screwed. They're too unique. They're too crazy. I just want, if you want to be a portly old man, human. Does that make sense? Is that fair? And even if it's not fair, do you care if it's fair, Zukin? So just because like humans, like if we wanted to go brawnier, sort of more barbarian-y look, and if we wanted to have like a little bit, the half elf look, and then if we wanted sort of like legit old dude look, then if we did it, I couldn't imagine it being sliding scales. It would just be, again, simple. I would imagine the best thing for us would just be you get these couple different body types. in other games where you pick body type and it means lipstick, no lipstick, our body type would be like skinny, brawny, you know, dad bod, and kind of normal or whatever. And that's what we'd go with. Chinny D said, what if I want to be a really fat lizard? That is why. That is why it would only be humans, I think. Zukin said, I think we'd be kind of sitting around trying to think of impactful alternates if we did it for everybody, to be honest. Like, halfling ogre came to mind. They have good shapes. What do you do different? That's why I say, like, leave them distinct. I honestly think sometimes giving those types of options to humans reinforces how humans are. And if that makes sense. And so then if we're, you know, like, if we keep the fantastic races fantastic and pretty anchored, then yeah, then humans just kind of fade away. Dave, what's going on, dude? It has been a while. How have you been? Are these different from the other human races thing, or is this the same thing in your mind also? What do you mean by that? I would just say it's just like human. Now, if we're doing it, it would be nice to be able to maybe throw in like a half elf as a race option, just because we're in there doing it anyway. But that's kind of an aside, right? I just saw your name, Dave, and I didn't even read everything you said, I don't think. Finally wanted to say hi again. Been following the project for a while. It's going along awesome, man. Can't wait to see where you all land on it. Definitely be rocking it. Really appreciate it. Hey, I have my head so buried in just like this stuff. Have you still been streaming? Dave says I've been rocking some Project Quorum on the side. Been having a lot of fun. Can't wait for this to come out. Dude, I believe it. Dave and I worked together at this point like 10 years ago, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. Those of you that don't know, definitely go check out Dave Greco Art here. Use his Twitch to jump over to whatever he's got up on available for you to see art wise. Dave's an incredible artist. Dave was the lead concept artist when we worked when I worked with him at King's Isle on it was like Wizard 101 and Pirate 101 and stuff there. But he is also a completely legit OG EverQuest nerd, so that made for some fun conversations. How do you go about doing overhauls and maintenance and doing code refactoring with so many systems going on at once? That's a great question for the tech guys. They just make it happen, carefully, constantly. A fatter ogre female wouldn't hurt. Darius, no. I agree with Dargus. Female ogre is perfect. Dave said, not really. I'm too tired at night to streams. Done like 2 streams in 2 years. Yeah, I can imagine. Now you're on the WoW team. Still love EQ. So, did you get there by way of... Were you doing other art for them? So I know you've done... I mean, because you've done like magic art. You've done... But when you went to Blizzard... Was it straight to the WoW team? You were doing freelance Hearthstone before. Okay, that's what I was thinking of then. Then got hired full time for the WoW team, which kind of shut off everything else. Yeah, I can imagine. But you didn't have to move, did you? Zukin said, could make a big buff human and duplicate it out and make barbarian and make more lean human and duplicate it out as a half elf. Could be quick win-win there. Yeah, we should talk about that one. I'm not sold that like barbarian is a race. To me, it just, but I guess if we're saying that they're humans, but they're human barbarians, and that's a cultural differentiator. I could definitely see that when like having that when the fist comes online. For the sojourners that live up there. It just seems like it's more flexible if they're just big buff humans. I know some people really love barbarians, but to me, barbarians like a lifestyle. Dave said, no, I'm full-time remote. Just travel to Irvine like twice a year for a week at a time. Oh, nice. That's perfect then. Ran into some KI folks recently. It's kind of crazy how many of the same people are still there. Oh, yeah, that is. I've noticed that in the occasion that I've actually seen some info on that, like on LinkedIn or whatever. Do you feel like Eminem lacks the berserker type archetype fantasy either as a class or as a race? Like Beast Lord is the closest, but not the same. An alternate starting point for humans in an ice ecosystem? Yeah. When the ogres come online. Zoidberg. Dave said, by the way, I think we both have a love of playing gnomes too. Yeah. Dude, they're fun. They're fun just to watch run around, right? Like it's just as somebody that's kind of taller in real life, it's nice to be like a little annoying gnome. Are Ratman just NPCs or playable? They're just NPCs. Did you see them in the update? AutoKey said, dwarves are my favorite design so far. So stocky, so much beard. The flip. Yeah, the flip was a must. We had to carry that over. But I feel like they really came out well. The dwarves are my favorite dwarves in an MMO so far. That's hilarious. 6'3" in real life, but I love playing small races. Something mental there. You or me? I'm only 6'2", so you must be talking about yourself. We've got that in common then. I think gnomes are fun because I can be silly. Even if I got a grumpy face, I can be silly and jump around and all that stuff. And in real life, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm kind of... I got a grumpy face and I'm tall. So it's fun to be able to be silly somewhere. Maybe that's why you do it as well, right? Always play a gnome or smaller race because the way I talk, I can come across bluntly and it just seemed like to mix well with that race choice. Yeah, see? It's less weird if like you're standing around jumping, you know, jumping in front of somebody. And being silly. Like if you're a gnome, it kind of makes sense. And if you're always climbing up shit, you know, like trying to see what you can get on or under or over or whatever. Right? Like That makes sense if you're a gnome. If you're human, it doesn't make as much sense. It's not. It's just kind of weird. So that's why we do it. Thanks, Matrix Hunter. All right, guys. Oh, hey, I brought this up and we didn't even look at it. But look at this. 10 most anticipated MMOs of 2025 and beyond by Screen Rant. 10 Core Punk. 9 Chrono Odyssey. 8 Amazon's Lord of the Rings MMO. 7 Soulframe. That'll be an interesting one to watch. 6 Ashes of Creation. Tagline: an immense scale. 5 Monsters and Memories. Old school inspired adventure. Slated for 2026 early access release. Game is independently made and thus doesn't have the same budget as some of the other more mainstream games on the list. Regardless, Monsters and Memories looks like a proper treat for fans of the old school RPGs and MMOs of the early 2000s, such as WoW, EverQuest, and RuneScape. Look at that. That's pretty cool. We appreciate that. We appreciate all of your support. As we said in the update, it's cool. It's been cool to be nominated for things. It's been cool to be on these lists with other, we're on another top 10 most anticipated list with Raft's game, which is cool, right? Like, they're like a legit studio. They have funding and stuff, right? And so that's pretty cool to be up there with people like that. Number 4, Dune Awakening. Number 3, Final Fantasy XIV's next expansion. Number 2, Riot Games MMO. And WoW Midnight. Hey, we're number 5. I'll take number 5 on a list. This is nice, right? Like, Hiker One, thank you for the follow. This is pretty cool. We really do appreciate it. Not even bullshitting. Like, we got Dave's game here. We got whatever Riot's doing, but it's Riot. That's pretty insane. Final Fantasy XIV. Dune's ahead of us. And then us. Not even a big name company, too. Us? we're literally we're literally paying out of pocket for the stuff that we pay for, but we're here because everybody's volunteering their time. Right? We're completely remote, completely distributed, completely volunteer team who has been pulling a game together. So that's pretty cool, man. We have a budget. We don't have funding. We have spent when we updated it, we got to update it again. We had the preliminary December numbers in our spreadsheet. We've spent like, oh shit, let me confirm. Let me go to the big budget calculator sheet. 2024 totals. We spent like that's not right. We spent $102,000. Later, Wallabus. I'm gonna wrap up in a minute as well. I need to crawl into bed. It's been an extremely long day, and I gotta get up early in the morning. But yeah, Screen Rant is a good pickup. I have them in my newsfeed, and I'm delighted to see it not only included, but number 5. Yeah, it's super solid, man. So yeah, fucking boom. Doesn't have the same budget as some of the others in quotes. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So honestly, dude, I feel bad when we mentioned that we have only spent that much, because the moment we're bringing in cash, then we can start to take care of our guys, man. Like the fact that the team has dedicated so much time to the project and put in so much consistent effort at this point over the years, right? Like we've got folks like Zukin in here have been on the team for years. You know, we're gonna continue to grind and grind and grind, because it's not the funding that makes the game, right? It's the people that make the game, and so we've just been really fortunate to like get rad people. We would have had to find rad people if we had cash, and I think it would have been like would have been maybe the same opportunities would have popped up in terms of our like finding cool people or whatever, but like I don't know, man. I think it's worked out this way for a reason. So we'll see. We'll just keep grinding on it this year and try to get it to a point where you guys are amped to be in early access. You know, and I will say, like, over the holidays, I was playing Pantheon. I've had a good time playing with my dear friend Hashpipe. And we were on voice and we were having a blast and we were yelling and like, oh shit, don't die, and like had a really good time in that. So I'm excited for the guys. Really happy for Joppa and the crew on Pantheon. But playing it, I felt like, and this isn't a slight against their game. It is just a sort of a feeling. It's like I play that game and had fun. I play our game and I have fun. So I'm hoping that, you know, those guys going into early access ahead of us and they start pulling in people and you start to see like, you know, maybe people that aren't from the crew of like EQ folks that are looking for the old school vibe or whatever. We start to get more and more people interested in this shit. They're showing that, you know, they've got good numbers over there. And you know, I think we can provide the people that are interested in this type of game with a very good sort of representation of it, and we're going to do some things that some of the other games aren't able to do, right? Like we're doing some things different with regards to mounts and housing, and you know, like we were talking about the trade skills earlier and all this other stuff. So I feel really good sort of looking at where we're at and the stuff that's come together and where other folks are at and all that stuff. So yeah, Dave said you've done more with 100K than 99% studios do. I mean, you've been at studios, man. You know how it is. It's too many suits and studios gobbling up money for nothing, and too many, I don't know, like too many fingers in the mashed potatoes and all that other stuff. Whereas like the red thing about our team is everybody on the team is working on the game, including all of the leadership and everything. Like we're all heavily invested in the grind. So Yushu said, thank you for including us. Hey, thank you for being here. I mean, if you guys didn't have the idea of making a game in the first place, we would have never started dicking around in Blender and making a game in 2020. Having the cash could have changed the people you found and not necessarily for the better. Absolutely. That's something we think about. Like that's not a joke at all. Like the people that have gotten on the team and like really stayed on the team committed, like there's no denying their passion, right? It hasn't just been a job for folks, but it'd be really badass to make it a job for folks. You know, like really looking forward to the day that we can start to help out, you know, the guys and turn it into like a legit opportunity for them. So, how many people can you have on a screen at once before it starts to lag? I think that's kind of machine dependent. Ice Creek, you just have to look at some of the play tests. It's both machine and probably zone dependent. But we had 370? What did the update say? 370 people in Night Harbor during the last stress test. So, speaking of death, what's the death penalty like in M&M? Experience loss, you leave your corpse with all of your gear, both equipped and unequipped. You unmem all your spells. You go talk to the artists sometimes when they work on stuff. Absolutely check out all of the other streamers, all of the other team members' streams. What's the here? Let me commands. Be sure. Nope, that's my Discord. Don't go to that Discord. That one's boring. There's nothing in there. It's just me. Go to the M&M Discord. That second link. And or third link, I guess. And if you check out, there's notifications in there that will actually show you when the other streamers are playing. Let's see. On a corpse run, you can use spells. You just need to have, kind of like you would need to have additional equipment or whatever. You just need to have another spell book. Or maybe place a stash box near where you guys were and have some stuff in there, like a spells, like a emergency corpse recovery spell book, and then you can throw it back in a box. You can place stash boxes around for your group or guild or yourself. Proto Hero, thank you for the follow. Like to see the signature spell changeable like every 12 hours that you can keep on death. We've talked about should there be cantrips and things like that. Various classes will have various means of helping you with your corpse recovery, and then we'll have something set up where after a certain amount of time, if you just can't get to it, then you can go to a specific like temple or whatever, and then get your corpse back for a fee. So, guys, it is 10:30 now. The end half of this turned out to be a really fun set of conversations. I appreciate it. I'm still getting back in the swing of things, and I got up at 5 a.m. this morning, and I'm gonna get up at 5:30 and tomorrow. So I'm gonna bounce out of here. It's been super cool seeing you guys and talking to you, especially folks I haven't seen in a while. And then I'll be back on Friday, and I'll do some actual work on Friday in one of these zones. So, hey, thanks for being here. Unchained, it's gonna be fun. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Matrix Hunter, good night. Brex, good to see you, buddy. And like I said, if you look for the troll king of the troll king of the halflings in Discord, you'll see where I was talking about you, buddy. Let's see. Autokey, hey, thanks for popping in. Chaz Solo. See you, buddy. Konami-san, Checks, eating around. Thanks for being here. Tannhauser, You Shoes, Quicksana, Jornox, thanks for being here. Chinny, you're welcome for the stream. Thanks for all the hard work. MMO Pug, Swanee, see ya. Zukin, I'm glad to be streaming again so that I can hang out with you a little bit at night. And earlier I was saying nothing but good things about you. You were saying sometimes they were saying that you intimidated them, and I was like, he's a big teddy bear. He's a sweetheart. Dragon, see you, buddy. Crescents, Dozakar, you guys have good rest of your days. Sunlistic, Kumadar, Isan, I hope you sleep better, buddy. I sat so weird today. I just realized I'm like a hunchback over here. Yeah, Zukin. I was doing this the whole time. I'm sure that'll lead to some wonderful screenshots. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people are intimidated by the fart jokes and twerking skeletons. Uncle Jay, thank you very much. Everybody, have a wonderful rest of your day or night. I will see you guys on Friday. Thanks for being here. Happy New Year, and glad to see you all back. Cool. See you then.